3, 2, 1.
This is Sean Payton, head coach of the New Orleans Saints. What's with this Saints Happy cast? This has to be the worst Saints podcast in the world. Ralph can't say anyone's name right. Andrew doesn't know football. Everyone has a hard time listening to Dave. And is Kevin even there tonight? The audio with this podcast, my God, the audio, it's painful.
All right, everybody, welcome to another edition of Saints Happy Hour podcast. Live stream going. I got 2 monitors. I feel like I'm NASA, Control, Apollo 13. It's all going to go very, very wrong. Thanks for joining us.
My God, I couldn't even imagine you working for NASA.
Shit. Would have ended on Apollo 1.
It'd be like that.
Fuck, it would have ended in the Mercury program.
It's like that loop of that guy on Twitter who hates SpaceX and he just sends out GIFs of their rockets imploding. That would be me if I worked for NASA. Dave, you paid off your losing bet. You ate at the Olive Garden today. How'd that go?
I did. They've reopened. They're allowing dine-in, so I took the kids, and and I brought home. I have one of their infamous breadsticks that I brought home that I'll eat a little bit here while we're on the show. It was mediocre at best, if I'm being honest. It was a little on the early side for lunch. There weren't too many people in there. They were doing the social distance seating, and they weren't very busy at all. So, I mean, they were bringing my food out like literally minutes after I had ordered it. I mean, I literally ordered I ordered a bowl of minestrone soup, and she literally left and then came back immediately and just had it. And we ordered, my kids like mozzarella sticks, so we ordered some. They call it fried cheese. I think Olive Garden is way too fancy to call them mozzarella sticks. So we had some fried cheese, and that was the kids' favorite. And then I had some chicken Alfredo. It was, like I said, mediocre at best.
Dave, what made you angrier this weekend? Having to eat at Olive Garden or finding out the Saints are going to tarp over your seats and put an ad there for the 2020 season?
It's a good segue, Ralph. Very good segue. This is why you're the host. I'm not that mad about it, to be honest. Look, first of all, I don't think any fans are going to be going to any games, if I'm being completely honest. Considering the track that this country is currently heading on, which is backwards from where we were.
What about today?
I don't know if they're.
Is today the worst day of your life? Yeah.
I don't know if they're gonna. You can hear me. I'm eating the breadstick right now. If you're not watching live right now on YouTube, it's very dry.
Hey, move your head to the right.
Why?
Because you're going out of frame.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
The people need to see you snacking on that breadstick.
Oh, that's weird. I can see myself just fine.
Okay.
I think you guys don't realize. You guys are in like a more narrow view. The actual screen is way wider. So I'm not. I don't know if I'm going to be going to any games, and if I do go to games, it's only going to be 2 or 3. I'm thinking if they're going to do reduced capacity, not everybody's not going to get to go to every game. So I'm thinking 3 at the most, and. I don't know. It'll be a unique experience. I'm interested to see where they're going to put me. Part of me says I should demand the 10th row because that's going to be the new second row. It's 10th row or GTFO. Or part of me says, maybe I can try to use this to negotiate and, get myself into the club section, the club level maybe. I don't know. Or maybe I'll try to get close to another friend of mine. Ralph, I'm going to come sit with you, actually.
Yeah.
I'll see if I'll take a refund because your seats are way cheaper than mine.
Yeah.
And I'll sit next to you and we'll slum it up there in the
I sit with the pores. Section 641.
So I don't know. I'm curious, but they haven't called me yet. I haven't talked to anybody. But this whole season is going to be so ridiculous and out of whack and out of sorts, it's only fitting that I'm not going to be sitting in my normal seats for this season.
Well, Kevin, baseball is going to try to get back. NBA is going to do their bubble thing. And, oh, by the way, it's so fantastic. The first game back, the first night, Zion is playing on ESPN. They have done everything humanly possible to rig that shit so Zion gets in the playoffs. But my question, Kevin, I'm curious to see like how these other sports work and if they can succeed, but I don't necessarily think it tells us anything about football, but I want it to. Are you looking for when these sports start back up, are you looking for any like clues or anything to see like, oh, if that means if it's going good, that means it'll be good for football, or if it's bad, are you looking for certain things that you're going to be like, uh-oh, that's a bad sign for 2020 football?
It's a bad sign anyway. Like I'll be the conductor of the doom train on this. You got basketball is going to be at what? At fucking Disney? And where's Disney? In Florida?
Yeah.
Florida's been setting records day after day for new fucking cases of this stuff. And fucking Rudy Gobert, who everybody bagged on, rightfully so, for touching all the microphones, joking about coronavirus, and then ended up having it. That was months ago. He gave an interview or said publicly somewhere that he still feels the effect of it. That's a world-class athlete saying he's still feeling the effects of a disease, a virus that attacks the fucking lungs. And people want to run around like, well, the deaths aren't skyrocketing. So it's like, look, man, you got athletes that catch it and aren't back up to snuff. What the fuck are the rest of us going to do? Fuck, man.
It can be a hype train or a doom train.
And you want to, crowd all these athletes into the same space. This has a recipe. I'm not saying disaster. It has a recipe for just bad shit.
Well, look, Dave.
We're not in a place to be doing this.
Dave made us this amazing shot glass. Can you see it, people? It's amazing. And you get it with the booze. It is. You get it with the booze bundle. We spent every freaking dime this podcast makes to ship these booze bundles out to you. We really need a season so I don't hemorrhage money on this podcast. This podcast needs to not be a sinkhole. But so I need a season, and I keep saying 1982, the strike shortened year. They'll give us something. I'm just curious to see, like, NBA players are like, Laker, I forget his name. He was like, I'm not coming. I'm just curious to see, like, if any NFL players, Dave, are going to be like, I'm not showing up for this. I got a mom, I got a kids with whatever pre-existing conditions that are bad. So it'd be interesting to me. And
I mean, it sounds like Malcolm Jenkins is ready to lead that charge if necessary, given what he said this past week. He doesn't think that football as a sport is essential, and he doesn't think that they should go back and play if they're not going to be guaranteed that they're going to be protected, which they're not going to be guaranteed. I mean, you can't guarantee something like that.
Kevin, would it be the most Saints thing in the history of ever for there to be no season when the Saints have their best roster in the history of their franchise and potentially the best offense in the history of their franchise?
So
look, man. Saying best offense in history is pretty. That's a bold ass statement, especially when what was it?
PFF said it was the best offense of the decade.
PFF said that the 2011 Saints had the best offense of the decade. So that's bold, saying best offense in franchise history.
Well, that's what I want to talk about. Maybe
best overall team. You could debate it. You could argue it. I don't know if I I don't know if the argument for best offense holds water,
Well,
but whatever.
I want to
But yes,
argue.
it is on brand, as Dave would say.
I want to argue best offense because I think Kamara, Latavius Murray, Dave's new BFF at running back, is at least as good as Pierre Thomas, Reggie Bush, Mike Bell. Receiver, Mike Thomas is better than anything the 2011 Saints had. Now, they had Lance Moore. The Saints have Emmanuel Sanders. Now, 2011 had Jimmy Graham, but the Saints have Cook. I think the offensive line for 2020 potentially is better, but that 2011 line, Dave, had health. I think it's closer than Kevin wants to make it out to be. I think this 2020 team has a chance to be damn close to 2011.
I don't know. First of all, offensive line, you can't underplay that. I mean, that's a big deal. The offensive line playing well, being healthy, and being one of the better or best offensive lines in the league, that's a catalyst for everything else working. That's why Darren Sproles was able to be
Darren Sproles
amassed
too.
the most play yards from scrimmage in
Ever.
one season. Yeah, I mean, he set the record. He set the single-season record for most yards in a season. So that right there is a big help. Where are you going to get that on the 2020 Saints roster?
Taysom
You've
Hill.
got Michael Thomas, but look, if Alvin Kamara plays out of his mind, if Michael Thomas plays out of his mind, my thing is Drew Brees has gotten a lot of shit this offseason as far, the Chris Sims stuff.
Yeah.
I think people have written him off at this point. They feel like he's old. So there's no way that anybody other than us is going to say that the Saints are going to have the best offense. Not when Drew Brees is the quarterback. They're going to say the Chiefs are going to have the best offense because they've got Mahomes. Or they're going to say the Ravens have the best offense because they've got what's his face? I can't even think of his name right now. So there's no way outsiders are going to say that the Saints could have the best offense.
Speaking of Drew Brees, you got on these Twitter streets, Dave, by Barry.
Yeah, that was showing my. You can explain it. That was showing my my naivete, I suppose.
I mean, Dave, how long have you been
well,
on
I
Twitter?
didn't get got. I asked you. I sent the picture and I was like, wait, is this for real? Like I questioned it. I didn't take it at face value. I was.
Yeah, you did. Oh,
No,
you were buying it. You were buying.
I was trust but verify.
You got by Barry McCockingorner. But he piggybacked off of fake Ian Rappaport. I'm surprised, Dave, that you thought it was real. You don't retweet a darn Schefter like 6 times a day. But for the people that don't know, a fake Ian Rappaport account tweeted out that Malcolm Jenkins told Drew Brees to help heal the team that he needed to start memorizing rap albums, and that Drew Brees had put an article on the Players Tribune, my favorite 5 rappers, but he was listening to clean versions of the albums. So it was a pretty, I mean, Kevin, as far as like a Onion style, totally ridiculous, but like there's like a 3% chance that it might be true. Like that tweet was in the sweet spot.
It was perfect. It was great. I loved it. Like when I saw where the tweet was coming from, I was like, okay, I get it. But then when I read the actual content of it, I could be like, boy, I could definitely see Drew doing something like that. But then I wasn't going to say that at the time because, Dave was asking us if that was correct. And so, I thought, let's have a nice laugh at Dave.
Well, I mean, I got by a darn Schefter a couple of times. I got on a Marcus Coulson injury. I got the week that Drew Brees in 2015 had the foot issue and they weren't if he wasn't going to play. A darn Schefter got me again. So I've gotten on the Twitter street. So don't act like I'm going to bang on Dave because it's funny that he just now found out about this guy Barry McCockenface or whatever his name is. But cock and balls, but like I'm not
I
gonna
don't-
pretend that I ain't got. And all you people in the chat room, don't act like y'all ain't got on the Twitter streets either. But they did have actual.
I want to go back. I want to go back to one thing that was happening in the chat room. Andrew's dad is in the chat, and he let us know that he's dog shitting. He said at Andrew's house, and while Andrew was away, and somebody in the chat had a good idea to stock Andrew's fridge with beers, but only IPAs.
Yeah.
And I'm going on record right now saying I endorse that, Mr. Steven. Please do that. Please do that, and let us know if you could maybe videotape the reaction. That would be great when he discovers
hey,
it. That would be really great.
Mr. Juge, hit me up with the Venmo.
Yeah,
I'll
we'll pay
Venmo you the money. We'll expense it. We'll expense it on the Saints Happy Hour credit card. We'll call it marketing.
You got to video it when he gets home, though. You got to be there when he gets home and opens the fridge.
Just and go like hard. Don't go like fruity, light IPA. Go hardcore IPAs that he hates. That's what I want.
Well, wait, shit. When is he getting home? Because
He's
he
getting
might
home
listen to this
Tuesday.
podcast before he gets home.
We peek behind the curtain. Me and Andrew recorded all the daily podcasts for next week, except for one. So if the Saints have breaking news, it's going to be me and Dave or me and Kevin because Andrew is drunk somewhere on vacay. See, but he can do that because Charlottesville, they don't really have Rona problems like Houston broke into breaking news on Friday to announce that Houston had gone code red according to the Rona, which was that was delightful. So before we get to the Jim Mora bracket and a piece of audio that I found on the YouTubes that we are going to discuss fully. Kevin, they had actual NFL news today with the Patriots. They signed Cam Newton, and Goodell fined them $1 million and took away a 2021 third-round pick for their little filming escapade they did in Cincinnati.
Wait, when did the incident with Cincinnati occur?
This past year.
I've lost.
It
That happened this past year?
Yeah, it feels like 9,000 years ago because of the Rona.
Jesus Christ. Yeah, it does. Wow. That's
I mean, a third round
didn't-
pick is not nothing.
Yeah. No, it's not, but it's going to be funny when the Patriots proceed to run to the playoffs for 5 straight years because they got Cam Newton under center.
Dave, do you think the Patriots are back as favorites in the AFC East because they have Cam Newton?
No. No.
Who's the favorite?
In the AFC East, God, what do we got? Patriots, Jets, Dolphins, and who's the other team? Who's the last team?
Bills.
Oh, the Bills. Yeah, I like the Bills. Absolutely. Yes, they're the favorites.
Cam Newton was one of my favorite Saints players to hate on, Kevin. Like I won't lie. Like I loved rooting against him. He did the he dressed weird. He said the nonsense. Like he was fantastic to root against, and the fact that the Saints swept them in 2017 makes it even more fun. But like, does he rank high for you on Saints villains?
I think the fact that I'm taking this long to come up with an answer, I'm leaning no then. I'm leaning no. I would put him outside the top 5. He's behind Joey Galloway. He's behind Steve Smith.
Oh yeah, Steve Smith.
I'd put him behind. I'd put him behind Algie Crumpler. I'd put him behind Mike Vick.
And if you want to really go old school, you can go barefoot communist Mike Lansford. Torment Saints fans in the 80s. But I mean, I'm gonna kind of miss him. Like he was fun. Like he dressed really great. I mean, I had people tweeting at me their favorite Cam Newton wardrobes.
The circle has been complete though, because uh, Jameis went from Tampa to the Saints. Teddy went from Saints to Carolina. Newton went from Carolina to New England. And what was the last one?
Brady? Did you say Brady?
Oh, and Brady went to Tampa. That's
yeah.
right.
The circle is complete.
So we've all just switched fucking quarterbacks.
Circle of life.
All 4 of those teams.
All right. So we talked about the offense being potentially the greatest in history. Can they average 34 points? We'll see. So, as we come to the end of June and we await training camp, please let training camp open on time. We struggle for topics and we have meetings and we try to find ridiculous things to talk about. And of course we have Dave eating breadsticks tonight, so the show's gone off the rails. But I had Kevin Barrios from the Bird Calls, which you should listen to that podcast. The Pelicans are starting back up. The Bird Calls, their podcast is awesome. Their site is awesome. Go there, support them. They're great. He DM'd me this beautiful thing that I did not know existed. I will not lie. It apparently, Morten Andersen, the Saints Hall of Fame kicker, and the Saints punter, Brian Hansen, in 1985, Kevin, they made a record together. And they put it out. And I found it on the YouTubes, which if you go to the YouTubes, the picture of them in super short white shorts, it's the most 80s fucking thing I've ever seen in my entire life. But this,
I gotta say, I can't believe that you, of all people, the biggest Saints fan ever, hadn't heard about this.
I had heard about it, but I like joked about it. This is the first time that I actually I'd seen the picture, but this is the actual first time that I had actually listened to the song. And I feel like what it's done to me, I feel like I need to spread it. It's like,
I mean, what you said? You say song? It was a whole album.
Yeah, but this is the main. This is the hit off the album.
This is the power ballad.
Yeah.
Oh God, this sounds like a video game opening. This is amazing. You gotta be kidding me. Do they sing?
Kevin, my first thought was Skinamax.
My first thought is I think we have a new open.
Yeah. Gotta put that in the rotation. That's gotta go in the rotation.
How much do you think it costs to get the rights to that song?
It only has 15.
I think if you use less than 15 seconds or something, it's fair game, right?
Yeah.
Well, we need more than 15 seconds of that beauty. There's no way we can only have 15
Fredo
seconds.
says it needs to be the Stranger Things season 4. I mean,
lyrics.
It's amazing. It's you know.
You know what this reminds me of? This reminds me of Boogie Nights, when the two of them go in and decide to make a record, you know, and they're like, "We will rock you, we will roll you, feel my heat."
It's very danceable. I just want to groove to it. I
have to hear all the songs on this album. I mean,
I
this is the 80s. People were making, albums back then. You know, they told the whole picture.
Yeah, I mean, here's the thing. Like Morten Andersen, he's going on Random Saints fan podcast. I see him on a couple. Like, he should come on ours at Kevin, and we could just grill him about go track by track. Like it could be like a behind the music on VH1.
Wait, Andrew's dad, who is a lawyer, has already given us legal advice. We can, according to fair use doctrine, if we criticize the song enough and make sure it's satirical, then we're good. We can just play the whole song.
It's not satirical. This is like...
Trust me, we're going to make fun of this song. Keep playing.
It's a horseshit song, I'll tell you that much.
Got a good rhythm.
I mean,
Not saying anything about the lyrics.
So what's the name of this song, and what's the name of the album?
the name of the song is "Take It to the Top."
Really?
Yeah.
What's the name of the?
I don't know the name of the album, but to "Take It to the Top."
Feel my heat.
It's good, huh?
What's the name of the album?
I don't know. Probably like punting for love or kicking for love or something.
No.
Take it to the top. You know, this could
amazing.
also be a
Keep
theme
dancing,
song.
Ralph. Keep dancing.
This could also be
It
a
sounds like
this could
Juicy
also be a
Fruit
theme
thing.
song, Kevin, for a Steven Seagal direct-to-video movie.
It sounds like the Juicy Fruit commercial.
Sounds like the Mentos commercial.
I really,
Yeah, that too.
So it's only got 10 seconds left. I mean, people, you think the Saints Happy Hour, you come to us, you think hardcore football analysis, and we deliver that. I mean, no other podcast is delivering you that kind of analysis in June. I mean,
think of the other song they sang in Boogie Nights. What was the second song that they sang? There were two. They were great. They were both brilliant.
Kevin, if we did
My God.
if we did a bad decisions bracket of every Saint person, would this be a top 4 seed, this song?
Oh no. I think 3 of the top 4 seeds would honestly be occupied by Drew Brees.
That's recency bias held.
I mean, that's a great Ralph. That's a great find. That was a good find.
I don't know, no credit. I mean, I knew about it, but like Kevin Barrios just like DM'd it to me, and I was just like, I'll click on it. And then I like listened to it, and I was like, it's June. This is right in our warehouse. We're gonna hit this out of the park. We're gonna have Dave eating Olive Garden. We're gonna have Morten Andersen, Brian Hansen sing and "Take It to the Top." It's just gonna be amazing.
When we do question answers at the end, play that song while we're answering questions, just so we can hear it one more time.
Yeah, I will when we do Q&A. Fair enough. So we got to get to the greatest Jim Mora bracket. Kevin, thanks for coming
is
by.
it.
If Kevin had made it tonight, Dave, we could have had a tie break. We'd have had a tie.
No,
somebody in the chat
we'd
room
have to
would've-
postpone. We'd have to wait. We'd have to wait till next week.
Yeah. So.
But I can't believe Andrew is missing this. I really thought he would have wanted to see this.
You think he would have? You think he would have popped in to vote on the finals of the Jim Mora bracket? And oh, by the way, if you missed any of the previous rounds of the greatest Jim Mora rant bracket, I have compiled and will, after this show, a podcast which will be 2 hours long, which will be all the segments of the Jim Mora bracket in its entirety, it's amazing, and you should listen to it. It'll be fun. Even if you've joined us all these weeks, listen to it again. They'll relive it. Kevin, the bracket fell completely apart, and the Stowers...
You know, I'm going to stop you right there, because you keep saying this. You keep saying the bracket's busted, the bracket's falling apart. No. The bracket is right where it fucking should be. We got to this point because the best of the best rose to the top, and this just because the 1 seeds didn't make it all the way through, that doesn't mean that that the best and brightest didn't make it all the way to the final. So I wholeheartedly disagree with you when you say that the whole thing is messed up.
We seeded it as we seeded it. If you would have told me that coulda, shoulda, woulda, and playoffs and other ones would have not made, I'm just surprised that, Kevin, we're in the finals and both of the Jim Mora rants in the finals involve Buford Jordan. I mean, you could have got 10 million to 1 odds at the beginning of this thing.
What the semifinal vote was, so I'm glad to. That's a surprise. I'm glad.
So, we got the Stowers rant from 1991 where he just loses his mind in practice. We'll we have that, and we have this one which is a call-in show. I forget the guy's name. It was on Fox, and Buford Jordan was an analyst, and Jim Mora took time out of his Sunday night to call in and undress Buford Jordan and just rip him. We'll start with that one.
I just happened to walk in here and watch it, and I got to tell you something. It makes me almost want to vomit, and I'm being very honest with you. First of all, Buford, you absolutely have no idea who can tackle and who can't tackle. You're sitting back there saying they need to work on tackling drills. This guy can tackle. This guy can't tackle. You never come to practice. You absolutely have no idea how much time we spend on tackling. And for you to say that we have a bunch of roughnecks back there that need to learn how to tackle is ridiculous.
Nah, I didn't say that. I didn't say that.
And I'm going to tell you something, Alexander, and this comes from the heart. Don't ever ask me to be on your show, because when I do occasionally watch it, it really makes me want to vomit. And I don't think you're a Saints supporter. I don't think you care about the Saints, and there's no way I would ever be on your show, so don't even ask me, okay?
The calling in to tell him to never ask him to be on the show is just...
I'm not going to be on your show.
Yeah.
Well, I'm on your show saying that I'm not going to be on your show. That's Andrew. Since Andrew's not here, I will. I'll remind everybody that's Andrew's favorite.
I will say, Dave, your point about this rant, and one thing that I forget who it faced off is in a previous round that really swung me was of all these clips that we have of Jim Mora, of all of them, this is the only. They're all regular media appearances for him. This one, he took time out of his day to call in to lay waste to Buford Jordan, which makes it extra special and spicy. Kevin,
Right.
Is there anything that could have made this rant better?
I mean, if he had cussed, that's about it.
Right.
Well, we got the curse.
And it's only really got the one sound bite, the vomit sound bite, which pales in comparison to our next clip, the other finalist.
Yeah, no, the next clip of Jim Mora in 1991, and oh, by the way, this Saints team that he is about to disparage and destroy and make sound like a one-win team, this team would go on to win the first division championship in Saints history. But Jim Mora, he was not happy after a practice against the Kansas City Chiefs in 1991. But I've said it over and over again when we play this clip, maybe the most underrated part of it is it's all begun by a convicted murderer.
Obviously, you're not happy.
Oh, we got our ass kicked. We got our ass kicked. It was sickening. We have 18 plays on offense. First 18 plays, we turn the ball over, one for a touchdown. The other one's going to set up a touchdown. We can't, we got backs that can't hang on to the ball. They out-hit us. They out-toughed us. We stunk today. We're not even close between that football team and our football team. Not even close. Ridiculous. We run two screens. We don't block anybody. We get a back, gets his knee blown out on one of them. Can block anybody. We stunk. Just stunk.
He's just getting warmed up.
Jim, injuries,
Dean told me he blew his knee out. You got to block people on a screen. Shit, he gets the ball out there, and two guys, big old animals, nail his ass. Shit, it's ridiculous. We run a screen before that, we get our ass nailed.
What about scales, coaches?
I don't know. Dean said he couldn't put any weight on his leg. That didn't sound too good to me. Shit, we're down. We're down in back. We're down in everything. We shit. We don't have enough people right now. Be hard to practice next week effectively.
Pinkett done for the year, you think?
I don't know. Dean told me it looked like he tore two knee ligaments. That didn't sound very encouraging.
Do you take into account all the fact that Bear?
I don't take into account shit. All I take into account is they kicked our ass today. That's what I take into account. Stowers. Well, let me just tell you something. He looked pretty good, right? They cut him before they came to camp. The Kansas City Chiefs cut Stowers before they came to camp. Looked pretty good for us. Maybe that shows you the difference between our team and their team. I don't know.
Well, you go back to.
What do you guys think about that? Pretty good indication,
Wait
right?
for it.
They won't even bring him to camp. Shit, he looks like a star of the day for the Saints.
Jim, will you change the focus of practice?
Depends if we got anybody that can practice. You know, we can line up and do something.
Jim, was the effort there today? Did you?
It was all right. Buford Jordan goes in there and gets a little hit and knocks the ball out. Head gets in there, gets a little hit, ball goes out. Shit, I don't know if that's effort or not. It's horse shit ball carrying, I know that. Horse shit.
It just...
That's your winner. That's what I'm voting for. That's what I'm voting for.
I mean, Dave, what are you vote? Dave, you vote. You go. Dave, take yourself off mute.
No, I knew I was on mute. I had to wait to sit down. As much as I like the Buford Jordan one, as much as I, Ralph, you admitted that I swayed your decision on the Buford Jordan on the call-in show. So, as much as I feel like I had a lot to do with it being here, it really does not compare to the Stowers, horseshit ball carrying, star of the day. What's the other one from?
He's got horseshit ball carrying, block people on a screen. I don't take into account shit.
I don't
Star
take into
of the
account
day.
shit. How can I forget that?
He's got four.
I don't take into account shit. All I take into account is they kicked our ass today. That's what I take into account.
He's got that. He's got
horse shit ball carrying. I know that. Horse shit.
Yeah, I mean it's crazy because I don't remember anybody ever talking about any of these rants before we did this bracket on this podcast, and I kind of feel like we've kind of put
unearthed
these
we've
unearthed these great gems from the Jim Mora days, and we've put them out there, and I think we have single-handedly seriously made it part of the Saints zeitgeist.
They won't even bring him to camp. He looks like a star of the day for the Saints.
These are gonna live forever.
And they're better, and most of them are better than the ones that he's known for.
Dave, we are gonna finance your kids' college education through cups and koozies of all these rants. Star of the day,
right?
Make me want to vomit. Like, we're gonna do it. And oh, by the way, we got the booze bundle in. Become a $10 patron. July, August, you get it. We're gonna ship it out to you. It's fucking amazing. Dave did just above and beyond. But I agree, Kevin. The thing is with this rant is, it's really, as Dave said, when you talk about, even among Saints fans, I think when you of a certain age, when you list his iconic ones, I don't think the Stowers one. I don't think a lot of people know about it. I think it's a hidden treasure.
Both of these are hidden gems.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't recall. Like, I guarantee you, that sound probably made 15 seconds on a VOSOT on a sports broadcast, and it was never thought of again.
That's right.
Probably Jim Henderson. Jim Henderson probably threw to it, had a chuckle with Dennis Waltering and
Karen
and
Swinson.
Angela.
Oh, and Angela, yeah. And that was it.
And that was it.
Dennis Waltering and Angela.
Maybe less, because people that don't work in TV, you don't realize that, like, if any news of the day happens, the first thing to get cut is sports, right? So they might have got 30 seconds of the best stuff, and back in the day in the 90s, maybe ESPN picked it up on the satellite and did the same thing. I mean, today it would consume a whole week of ESPN, you know?
That is fucking stupid. Wake up.
People are gonna the people are gonna come for me. I'm gonna be playing the Jim. I'm gonna run this Jim Mora mini soundbite board into the ground. I can't.
Sick people. Mentally sick people. Sick in the head.
I'm out of control, and now I have the soundboard right at the ready because I got 2 monitors. It's gonna get out of control. But Kevin.
Anyway, so that's our winner because Kevin and I both voted. You didn't even vote. Ralph,
I didn't even need to
I'm
vote.
assuming it's a sweep. Right.
Jason said Twitter would be horseshit crazy over these rants. They would be. I mean, Jim Mora should be, Kevin. He should be the Monday Night Football. He should be the color announcer because you get Jim Mora, 80 years old. Clearly he does not give a fuck what people think about him. But you put him on Monday Night Football consistently past his bedtime, I think he could become as beloved as Lee Corso is for College Game Day.
We're waiting for Kevin to swallow. Kevin's eating some dry, possibly cold pizza.
No, just delivered.
Oh.
Oh yeah.
Here's the difference between Lee Corso and Jim Mora. Lee Corso,
Dinner of Champions.
looks like he enjoys his life. Looks like he enjoys just being alive. When Lee Corso drops a cuss word, it's hilarious. It's like, oh, Grandpa just said a dirty word. That's funny. When Jim Mora cusses, hide the china and the small throwable objects because Jim Mora is reaching for the bric-a-brac and he's going to start chucking shit. So there's a big difference there. But yes, I would love to see Jim Mora on Monday Night Football in the booth, squeezed into a booth with Joe Tessitore just laying into some people. And he'll lay into Tessitore too. He'll be like, how old are you? Oh, you don't know shit. He'll say something like that, and they'll have to go to commercial immediately or cut, there'll be no audio but the field mics for 5 or 7 seconds, and Tessitore will have to come back. Oh, we want to apologize for Jim there. He's from a different era. Like, no, Joe. Jim Mora called you out on something and said you were an idiot and threw in shit or called you a jackass. And it's perfect.
It is. I mean, can you imagine like Jim Mora in the middle of a game that's like 45-10 and a team just isn't giving effort? Like he would just lose his mind. I'm here for it. It can't be any worse than Jason Witten. Like I would have been better in the booth than Jason Witten. I'm just saying, like ESPN makes horrible choices. Give it to Jim Mora. He would be amazing. I'm just saying. So we've got only a couple of questions, but since
play the music.
All right, I gotta find
God, that's such a good song.
I gotta bump it down. Here we go. So Monadula asked Dave, how many games will Belichick be able to stand Cam Newton?
You got the power. Wait, I'm sorry. What was the question?
How many games will Bill Belichick be able to stand Cam Newton?
That's a good question. Does he mean like on the team or starting? I mean like Belichick's not going to get rid of him.
Answer it however you want, man. I'm just jamming out to the tunes.
I don't know. Who else do they have on the team as quarterback? The Patriots.
Brian Hoyer and Jared Stidham.
Oh wow! So I guess Cam Newton may actually be playing. Okay. I don't know. They'll go the whole season.
Let's see. So Jed asks, if going full Ralph is equal to one dream in the movie Inception, what would it be like to go full Ralphs deep? I mean, look, listen. You go 2 full Ralphs, you risk employment, your life falling apart. You go 3 full Ralphs, you're probably in prison. You go 4 full Ralphs, you're probably having like a drug cartel coming for your family. You don't want to go. You don't go 4 full Ralphs, Jed. Never. So, this is an actual football question, so we'll leave it to our football expert, Kevin. Kevin, who would you rather have 100% health? Who would you rather have 100% healthy all year long, Kamara or Davenport?
Kamara.
I would rather have Davenport.
I don't know, Dave. I feel like
we've seen what happens when Kamara, isn't so great. Latavius Murray just steps right up and he's fine.
That's your boyfriend.
We don't have anybody behind Davenport.
I mean, thing is with Davenport, like it's all what we think he could be. I've seen Kamara when he's healthy in 2017 and 2018. It's spectacular. I want Kamara. I mean, Davenport, I think, could be like a 12-sack defensive end. I really believe that if he's healthy. But Kamara, if he got a season of fully healthy, he could be a top 3 fantasy running back, which, by the way, he will be. And I'm going to prove it by not going crazy and bidding for him in our auction league for Saints Happy. I'm going to keep my hands off as many Saints players as possible because Jared Cook didn't blossom until I traded him. So, guys, thanks for joining us on this podcast. It's been a fun Sunday night. We're almost through. We're almost to training camp. We're gonna have training camp. We're gonna have some sort of football season. They may delay it. It may only be 8 games. Whatever. We're gonna have Saints football. So
8
get your booze. Yeah, 8 games. We're gonna have it. So get your booze bundle, please. Become a $10 patron. We'll get that booze bundle. Here's the thing. We'll get that shipped out to you if you become a patron. July, $10. Get it shipped out to you. It's awesome. You get the koozie, the shot glass, the Kuda Taysom Cup, the Forever Drew Cup. It's amazing. We're not going to play the normal exit. I'm just going to let the Morten Andersen, Brian Hansen song take us out. The bar is closed, everybody. We'll see you next week.
Turn it up.